Here right now at Luna Park in Sydney. I'm here with my son Christian. Did you have a good time today?
Yeah.
It was tons of fun rides. What was your favorite ride?
Devil's Drop.
The Devil's Drop. I was freaking scared of that, and this kid was so brave to do it. And I wanted to shoot this quick video because there's a couple things. You know, when Christian was younger, he was started in those rides over there. Like, you'd see those little rides, right? We all got to start somewhere. And when we got to start somewhere, it's also part of what we do in practice. Now, he wants to go on those big rides, but when he was younger, but unfortunately, he was probably a little too short compared to getting into those big rides. Well, I think sometimes we got to think about that in practice. We all want to be doing amazing things in practice, but sometimes our height restriction doesn't allow us to get to those levels. So there's really 4 to 5 stages in practice. I think first of all, when you first start out, it's called the startup phase. What you're doing there is that you're just learning the ropes. You want to get some confidence in yourself, and you got to get a whole bunch of patience, experience. That's what you're looking for. And then from the startup practice, you go to what I call the standard practice. Now, standard practice is about, I would say about, you want to get from 0 to 100 as quickly as possible. When 100 patients a week, you got a standard practice. The practice is where, you know, things are going well, things are happening. But the reality is this: when you're in a standard practice, it still sometimes feels like a struggle. And you're struggling looking for the confidence, and you're also looking for certainty. And when that happens, it's like, yeah, it's like these rides, they're fun, but after a while, once you graduate a certain level, they get boring. And so what you gotta do is you gotta move from the standard practice into what I call the profit practice. Profit practice is a different level. Profit practice is where you start making a profit in your practice. This is, you know, most people forget that running a chiropractic practice is about making a profit, because we are a business and that's how you survive. And so once you create a profit practice, then you got time. You already know what to do. You're making decisions. You're taking an element of risk, like Christian did today. You took an element of risk going for the Devil's Drop, right there. All of a sudden, like, you start to get really 4 things. You commit to something. He committed to something. He was scared. He committed to it. Then he had to find courage. And once you find courage, you have to find capabilities. Capabilities is like, what do you need to learn to kind of grow to that next level? And then once you find that capabilities, then you got, all of a sudden, after the first one, what did you feel? Did you feel more confident?
Yeah.
Yeah, you more feel confident. So then after capabilities, you get confident. And then so what happens? You do more of it. You commit to more things. And why? Because you're striving not only for a profit practice now. Once you've done that, you got enough courage, then you start moving towards what I call the freedom practice. A freedom practice is something that is bigger and better. Why? Because it creates an asset in your business. We're moving away from a practice and towards a business. That's right, a business. Where a practice now creates an asset where you create freedom. Why do I call it freedom? Because freedom is where you have the freedom for you to either work in it or you decide not to, because the freedom practice allows you to really kind of dive deep into the practice and do more of it or not. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, that subscribe button, you should press it. And because I want to share videos with you just like this one to help you grow your practice.